So I tried to tell y'all about Manscaped a while ago, but you didn't listen. This stopped being about nuts a long time ago. Manscaped is for your overall grooming experience, for your overall hygiene experience. Now we have the Beard Hedger Pro Kit. You can look all up in this little box right here that Manscaped provided for me, and you be like, well, Voch, if this is supposed to be a top tier beard trimmer, where's all the guards, Voch? How do I adjust the length for my beard? Let me tell you something, man. Manscaped is pushing the envelope. They have an internal beard length adjustment trimmer. This has 20 different notches on it for 20 different lengths. And just look, come on, bro. That's 20 different notches. So whether you got a beard like me or a beard like Law Nation, we got something for you. Easy to clean. You pop this thing right off, clean it up, pop it right back on. And it is waterproof anyway, so it shouldn't be getting super duper dirty anyway. Inside of this kit, man, we have beard conditioner, beard balm. We have a beard shampoo and a beard oil. One day my beard's gonna get thick enough to use some beard oil, but you get a free gift that comes with this package. You get a beard brush, a beard comb, and beard scissors. So when you do have that big, thick, long beard, you just want to make those small adjustments, right? Manscaped sends you some beard scissors on the house. You can't beat this deal with a stick. So listen, man, go get you one of these, man. Use promo code VOCH20 for 20% off and free shipping, and they ship internationally. Listen, man, it's normally your balls will thank you, but we got beard trimmers, so now your beard will thank you, your face will thank you. We're gonna stick with beard. Your beard will thank you. And soliloquy. So me and the round table were having a conversation. You know, we're just chopping it up in our group chat, and we might start selling videos of us texting, you know, in real time in the group chat, because it's always an interesting conversation in the round table. And I know just by me saying round table, there's bound to be somebody in the chat or in the comment section asking when's the next one. We don't know, but we got y'all. Hang tight, it's coming. But the conversation we're having was about the cornerback depth after cornerback 4. Right. So we all know that there's going to be Trey Diggs, going to be Gilmore. It's going to be this fight between Jordan Lewis and Deron Bland. And then there's going to be like the next crew. Right. So we know what happens with that first 4 guys. Right. Like if something happens to Gilmore, then Deron Bland would just step in and be outside corner and Lewis would be nickel guy. Right. If something happens to either of the nickel guys, the other nickel guy will go out. Like that's just clear. But this conversation was interesting because we were discussing what happens with Kelvin Joseph. When does Kelvin Joseph come on the field, right? And that sparked some things about, you know, Eric Scott. But I just think that this Eric Scott thing so far, boy, y'all could save this file and come back and smoke me on this, but I think the Eric Scott thing is like just training camp talk for right now. Or pardon me, OTA talk for right now. Training camp is later. OTA talk for right now. Eric is getting a bunch of buzz right now, and I do think he'll be a dude that gets a lot of looks in training camp. But as of right now, it's just like the rookie showcase news thing. So we're hyping up Eric a little bit, but I don't think Eric is gonna crack that, you know, first 5 guys on the field or anything like that. Nothing against it, because if he does, shit, we got a hell of a corner room, but I don't think it's his time just yet. So now we're asking ourselves in the roundtable group chat, when does Kelvin Joseph come on? You know, when does he come onto the field? Because he's kind of in this do or die mode. Kelvin Joseph is in this mode of, you know, he needs to do something now. Like he's a 2nd round pick, and the organization would love for him to, you know, pay, you know, to redeem those points of, hey, you're a 2nd round pick, you should be that now, right? We would love that for Kelvin Joseph, but you know, Kelvin Joseph hasn't necessarily had the best off seasons the past 2 off seasons, right? But there's no investigation now, there's no interrogation for Kelvin Joseph, so we have to assume that he has to be a lot more focused than what he once was. Now, mind you, this isn't me trying to defend Kelvin Joseph. This isn't me trying to keep him on the team or keep him on the depth chart, right? It's just that when I look at those first 4 guys and I think, all right, who's the 5th corner to come on the field, to come off the bench? Who's going to be the depth guy, right? I just don't see Israel as that guy, but I'll tell you why, because I know y'all ready to shoot at me or whatever, right? Izzy has far past proved himself, right? But I think Kelvin Joseph is more of the backup, first one off the bench type guy, or after that first 4, the first one off the bench type guy. And I'll tell you that because I feel Israel Mukuamu isn't going to be your depth guy or your backup guy or your swing change people out guy. I think he's not those dudes because I just think that he's your 12th starter.
Did you hear what I said?
Now, if you think about the Tampa Bay game, right? If you think about the playoff game, right? Israel Mukuamu got deployed as a starter. He went onto the field and he chased around Chris Godwin. That was his job, right? I think of Israel being a 12th starter guy and him being on the field and off the field, you know, based on what Dan Quinn needs for him, right? It's more situational for Izzy. Example, those first 4 guys, right? Jordan Lewis, Deron Bland, Trey Diggs, and Gilmore. If those 4 dudes don't get hurt, Kelvin Joseph will not see defense. The other side of that token is if those 4 dudes don't get hurt, Dan Quinn probably still has a package for Israel Mukuamu somewhere, right? That's the difference between these guys, right? Kind of like our safety group. It's not like Donovan Wilson comes on the field when J-Ron comes off the field. Nah, there's just a place for Donovan in this thing. There's a place for J-Ron, and depending on the situation, both those dudes can be on the field at the same time. I think depending on the situation, Izzy could be on the field with Trey, Izzy could be on the field with Gilmore, Izzy could be on the field with Deron Bland or Jordan Lewis. He could be on the field with J-Ron Kearse or Donovan Wilson, because that's just the dude that Israel Mukuamu is. If he's a backup anything, he might be a backup free safety, right? He might be a backup, I don't know, because if something go wrong with like Donovan, they may pull they may pull somebody else or something like that. But Israel Mukuamu may be the swing safety or whatever, right? But in terms of pure cornerback depth chart, I just think he has his own role. He has his own job. Kelvin ain't got a role. Eric Scott ain't got a role. Nashawn Wright, I'm gonna be nice, he ain't got a role. Just these guys don't have a role. And we saw Dan Quinn just kind of tuck it into his sleeve, right? He tucked it into his sleeve like, hey man, Dan, what you gonna do about Israel Mukuamu, man? We ain't seen him in 5 weeks. Dan say, I don't know, Izzy ain't gonna do shit on my team. Israel Mukuamu does not have a role on my team. We denounce Israel Mukuamu. We rebuke him. He is no longer a part of this organization. And then just out of nowhere in the first playoff game, he's shutting down one of the top receivers on the other team. It's not a mistake. Dan Quinn had a plan for Israel Mukuamu. And I think that comes from this idea of the versatile guy, right? If you take a look at our draft picks or whatever, most of them at least, they all have some kind of versatility in them. They play multiple positions, and I think they could be deployed in multiple spots. You take a look at what we're doing with Overshown, guys like Isaiah Likely, guys like Tyrus Wheat, guys like Junior Fehoko, right? All these gentlemen can shuts out of 2 Aisha saying gentlemen, right? All these characters can be deployed in many different ways. They could be deployed in many different spots. Now, I'm not saying that all of these guys are like the 13th, 14th, and 15th start. I think you got to work your way up to get there. They're just versatile players. But I think Izzy's versatility in a way that, hey, he's a tall guy, he's a long guy, he's a can run guy, and he's a can cover guy. You could put that dude in many different scenarios. So what does that look like in 2023? Well, I don't know. If you're going against a team that got a fantastic tight end, but their wide receivers might be trash, I can expect Izzy to be on that tight end somewhere. You're going against a team that got a big slot receiver type character, okay, cool. Then Izzy's going to be our other big nickel guy, right? There's a lot of different things that you can do with Izzy. If you want to run this dime type look, to where it's technically dime, but you got 2 safeties out there to uphold your run game defense integrity, with J-Ron Kearse and Izzy being the 2 nickel type big dudes, safety guys or whatever. Hey man, the more the merrier. Dan Quinn has his versatility that he can use with these type of guys now, right? I hope I'm not getting long-winded with this thing. I just want to be thorough with my analysis, right? So yes, I don't think Israel Mukuamu is a depth guy or a rotation guy, or hey, if this guy gets hurt, he's gonna come off the bench. I just think Izzy is a starter just like these other characters. He's just waiting on his situation to get rotated in. All right, appreciate y'all for listening, man. We'll get the roundtable going at some point. This is a soliloquy. We'll be dropping more of these, especially in this off season, to where we may not have news, but I always have thoughts. I'm putting that on the shirt. Damn, we may not have news, but we have thoughts. Whatever, we'll figure it out. Shouts out to Phil Collins. He's going to be positioned here now because I don't want him obscured by the microphone. So when some nonsense happens, we can look at Phil Collins' face. So we just put him right there. All right. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Follow me on Twitter, VOCHLOMBARDI. And hey, subscribe for more. Y'all hold it down for the Doski, Woski, and Peasky Whiskey. Till next time. Volume.